Football world, coming at you once again. Derek Diablo, Del Boy D, into Miami Firm, Miami Casuals, Diablo TV. Like and subscribe, do things you're supposed to do. Now then, as we approach March 1st, LA into Miami versus LAFC. I'm going, looking forward to being part of history. And as we get closer to the match, our opening match, and our first season, our inaugural season, and me getting deeper and deeper with the hooligan thing, getting deeper and deeper into football itself, there was something that occurred while I was in Jersey Island, Channel Island, Jersey, and it opened my mind up to a different realm of possibilities, and I don't think that others have been enlightened in this way. And it was a chance occurrence. I believe in God, so God, fate, whatever you want to call it. But there's a jabroni by the name of Maniac Mitchell. He's Nottingham Hooligans, and that guy, I already talked about him. He wound me up. He told me he had some stuff for me there in Jersey Island. None of it was true, and he battered his woman, and he was scared of me, so he left the island, and afterwards he talking funny. But anyway, as a result of that character and his maneuvers, it led me to a different sort of maneuvers. And what I'm talking about is one day, I was supposed to go meet up with these rappers. I'm talking about my boys from there. I'm talking about Chauncey, Jordy, a.k.a. Jersey Devil, a.k.a. 12, right? My boys. And I was supposed to go meet up with them. They were supposed to come find me. He acted like he had called them. And I was in the wrong place altogether. I ended up in front of some dude's house. And I was just waiting there for these dudes to come, for Jonesy and Jordan to come find me. They didn't even know I was out there. So it was a chance occurrence that they happened to be walking by. Eventually, I saw Jordy. So I ended up meeting up with them and got on with the rapping. We formed Stinging Nettles, top Jersey hip hop. You already know. Check that out. Stinging Nettles, myself and Jersey Devil, Jordy. And then what I have here, I'm not gonna show you what I got in here. I'm just, this is top secret. This you won't be able to decipher from the camera. So I met a man because I had my lyrics. I was supposed to go rap with these dudes 10 in the morning. I was already ready. So I had all my lyrics, and I just sat in front of the area where I thought they might be or something like that. I ended up in front of a dude's house, big geezer, older lad. And this dude, he's Royal Navy and everything like that. Bigger English dude full of tattoos and stuff. Looked like a hooligan, but he's not a hooligan. He actually hates hooligans. You talk about fighting them and beating them up and stuff. I think he's SAS. But he would never told me he's SAS. I hung out with him in the Royal Admiral and everything like that. So that dude, I was sitting in front of his house practicing my rapping. And he's like, well, what are you doing, blah, blah, blah. And I told him, and he told me I was in the wrong place. That where I was looking for was not there. So I ended up making friends with him and going back on another occasion and went by his house, and we made friends and everything, cool cat. And then his next door neighbor is an older gentleman. He's close to 100 years old. And that man's name is Chauncey Briggs. In Jersey Island, they call him Charlie. His real name is Chauncey. And I had seen him in Millennium Park. I was training some of the boys, First Tower Football Club. Some of my mates from there, J-Mo, some of the other boys, Alex and so forth, and Jonesy, Jordy, and some of their other friends, right, First Tower FC lads. And I was training them some Muay Thai, some street fighting techniques and so forth, some other martial arts. And I saw an older gentleman out there, very nimble, playing football on his own. And that's how I had first seen him, and it was remarkable to me, somebody his age, the way he could move, right? So, and ended up that he's next door neighbor with this other lad that I was mistakenly in front of the house. So when I went back to visit him, I saw Chauncey come out of the house, and I said something to him about the football. And then he asked me, oh, where are you from? And I'm from America, blah, 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 blah. And how do you come to be here? And then I didn't want to say football hooliganism, but I started talking about football. I started talking about Manchester United, into Miami. And once I started saying, I told him that I had seen him out there playing. And I kind of complimented whatever, and he brought me in his flat. And he's an older gentleman, man. He don't got the internet and nothing like that. He brought me in for some tea and everything like that. I started looking at all the pictures, and he taught me a lot of history. It has to do with Manchester United and football itself. So a lot of people don't know. Manchester United originally was called Newton-Heath LYR, Lancashire Yorkshire Railway. It's interesting. In America, it's just like a rich guy can buy a NFL team or whatever it is, NHL, and basically you just gotta be a rich millionaire or something like that. Doesn't matter if your team's any good. There's no relegation or promotion. Your team can be garbage and you still stay in the league. But in real real football, international football, association football, some people call it, soccer as Americans mistakenly call it, is different. You could start working class. You could start with your own football club and it can get to the top if you get promoted, if you're that good. So Manchester United began as Newton-Heath Railway Workers, and they formed a club. So that's already working class. That's already interesting as far as the history of England. So Chauncey, his grandfather played for Newton-Heath. I saw some of the pictures and stuff, man, old pictures. And when I started talking to him about Manchester United, and I started talking about Miami and David Beckham and what was going on, I was trying to tell him, I'm not part of the team yet. I'm not part of the club itself yet, you know. But he was talking to me, he was taking it like I had something to do with the club, and he busted out a manual bound in steel. I don't know if it was originally bound that way, some old paper. It wasn't leather, but it wasn't papyrus. It was some old stuff, man. And this is a secret manual of Newton-Heath. Old, forgotten football maneuvers, football formations. So I wonder if Mr. Beckham knows about this. I'm sure Manchester United people know about it, but it's lost. They don't use these formations no more. This is some old stuff. And that man started telling me about them, teaching me about them, talking about all these formations, and it blew my mind. It opened my mind up too. I can't stop thinking about it. So that's why I come out here to the field to practice mentally, to rehearse some of these things. And you know, I've been writing. I wrote names down that I can remember. He wanted to give me the manual. I was like, I can't take it, but I feel like if I talk about it and I'm able to express these maneuvers and these formations, then maybe I can go back to Jersey Island and I'll be worthy of it. But if any of you lads over there, man, if you got a chance to hang out with Chauncey, you guys call him Charlie. He lives over there by the Tropical Cafe. If you got a chance to hang out, the man's a living treasure. He won't hear this because he's not on the internet. So, I'll conclude now so I can get to some practicing. And I got the real formations, the diagrams in my pocket. I wouldn't let you see it, you know what I mean? I just got the names. So, of the ones I've been able to recover and mentally and write out, 4. So what I'd like to do, if Inter Miami is successful within its first season and we start winning right away, which I think there's a strong possibility, we might be champions of MLS first season. That's what I'm looking for. But if not, if we have a hard time, then I'd like to have a sit down maybe with Mr. Beckham and also Mr. Moss, you know, and we could have a fry up and I could discuss some of these plays and I'd like to experiment with the team. I'm out here trying to mentally work it out, but there's 4 that I believe if you combine these, it will make your football club invincible. And the first one is the Collyhurst slide. Collyhurst, that's an area in Manchester. So this is a maneuver that's both offensive and defensive. I won't go into the specifics of it, but that Collyhurst slide is a very dynamic sort of thing, and it's used for scoring as well as taking the ball from the opponent. Then a defensive maneuver they got is called Mancunian licorice. And now that is, it's not a diamond formation, it has to do with that, but it's malleable. It can be transmuted. And if you employ that, you're not going to get scored on. I can tell you that much, and it achieves ball control. Also, you got Lord Nelson's rapier, not rapier, rapier. I think he didn't know the difference of the words. You got to know about historical fencing, and I'm into historical fencing. So Lord Admiral Nelson, great hero, great legend of England history. Look unto him if you don't know who he is. Now this is an offensive maneuver, Lord Nelson's rapier, and if you employ it, and if your opponents can't decipher it and they can't deal with it, you score on them over and over and over. So that is a purely offensive maneuver, and it can be employed over and over repeatedly if the opponents can't figure it out. And finally, you got the Eye of the Falcon. And the Eye of the Falcon has to do with ball control. Again, it's offensive and defensive. It can be employed all over the field. It's dynamic. So between those 4, that Collyhurst slide, the Mancunian licorice, Lord Nelson's rapier, and the Eye of the Falcon, if a football club were to master those and employ them, I think they'll be totally unstoppable. So hopefully our club is successful right out the gate, which I have a strong belief it will be. But if not, the boy Diablo, Del Boy, I got some tricks up my sleeve. I got them written down here. I'm gonna consult my manual, and I'm gonna spend a couple hours out here practicing. So I'll talk to you guys another time. And if you need me, Inter Miami, baby, I'm here. I got the knowledge up here. I still gotta work it out. But that man, what he taught me, Chauncey Briggs, I know for a fact that old Newton-Heath pre-Manchester United knowledge will take us to victory if it's called upon. All right now.